She probably still got him.
Did he jump the tree though?
Yes, all right, thank you, Ty Bird, my executive video producer. Thank you. Come back into the shot real quick, man. Come back in the shot. All right, so Ty was actually on my show, what? Actually, it was a year ago to the day.
It was.
Yes,
it was.
I asked you why EV, remember that?
Yeah, I have hair now.
And you broke down and brought it down to a level that nobody has ever heard before as you commented on African Americans, people of color, charging stations in those areas, and he really brought it home.
But most importantly,
yes,
don't waste your time. This video may not be for you, but it really is. Part 3.
That will be all included, my man. So we don't cut. We like gag stuff too.
That's fine.
All right, so here we are with John, and as Ty alluded to, part 3, because John has made a decision of the vehicle that he has decided to keep. If you remember, I met John back in October. He had the Mercedes. Then he went back and got himself a Lucid Grand Touring. And then he invited me, and I drove the Grand Touring. I drove this vehicle, and then at the end, he asked me, well, what do you like? And I said, I kind of like the Lucid. So now here we are, fast forward, literally, in video time, you're going to see it in about 5 months. But this happened actually last week that he decided to make a decision, and he kept the Mercedes. Why?
All right.
Here's the question.
So in all of my vast experiences with Teslas and Lucids, and this is just the most comfortable car. This works for me.
Okay.
I like the tech. I like the availability of information in the displays. I think the hyperscreen is awesome. I like having all of the haptic response surfaces. I literally have a thumb keyboard for my right hand and a thumb keyboard for my left hand, and I can adjust the volume at the same time that I'm adjusting the navigation assistance speed. I can bring up multiple displays. The car is just a tech guy's dream. The other cars are great, and the tech in the other cars are good.
Right.
Lucid was awesome for range. It didn't, in my experience, meet that 500 mile per charge range.
Right.
This car has actually exceeded its estimated range. It's rated at 350.
Right.
I've come so close to 400 miles on a full charge. That's impressive to me.
Right.
And if you kind of did the Pepsi taste test side by side, same course, you'd probably get a solid 400 miles out of the Lucid. So I wasn't really losing anything by keeping the Mercedes and letting the Lucid be sold to somebody who loves it.
Right.
He drove it 2,200 miles from the Washington, D.C. area to Salt Lake City, Utah, and he said he had no charging issues. He had determined or found some things with the car that I hadn't picked up because for example, I never rode in the back seat of my Lucid.
All right.
He was able to get that into the Lucid shop, and he'll have a perfect car that works for him, and I've got a perfect car that works for me.
Right. So you kind of jumped ahead a little bit because you ended up selling it to a guy in Salt Lake City, Utah.
I did.
And so you put it up, and so tell us the backstory. So after you made your decision to keep the Mercedes, you went through the process of putting it up, as you said, online.
Yep.
And the guy reached out to you, and I think you said that, okay, send me $1,000 and then we will have a deal or something like that, right?
Yeah, so I'm agnostic. It's a no-lose situation. I actually put this on cars.com at the exact same time I put the Lucid on cars.com.
Okay.
Lucid was listed for about 15,000 more,
Right.
because it was newer, had less miles on it.
Right.
The guy saw it on the second day,
Right.
and called me and said, hey, I want your car. I'm going to get the money, and I'm going to fly out, and I'm going to pick up the car.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, well, it's first come, first serve, so whenever I get paid. And he's like, well, I need you to take the ad down because I don't want anyone else to have the car. How much of a deposit do you need to take down the ad? And I said, if you send me $1,000, I'll know you're serious, and I'll take down the ad. And the guy used Zelle. Money showed up in my account within 30 minutes, and I took the ad down for the Lucid because he was selling it, and I took the ad down for the Mercedes because that's what the decision maker was on which car I was going to keep.
Right.
And I'm happy it turned out that way.
Good. And the one thing you didn't bring up was the massage features, because you're really fond over these massaging seats, and you actually allowed me to be massaged as well in both cars. The Lucid, I must admit, I still like the Lucid, but this was actually pretty good as far as the massaging. But to me, it's a little overkill with the hyper screens. Now, you said your son is actually set on the driver's side, and he tested out all of the stuff that your wife refused to do, right?
Well, it's on the passenger side.
I'm sorry, on the passenger side.
So the passenger has his own screen.
Right.
And yes, he put in his earbuds, connected to the car, brought up Sirius XM radio, and was listening to his own music, completely oblivious to whatever I was doing with news radio or whatever I was listening to at the time.
Right.
So he had his own personal entertainment system in the car.
Right.
He could have also connected his phone and listened to his phone system,
Right.
which is kind of redundant. Why not just go directly from the phone to the pods?
Yeah.
But the car has that kind of custom luxury feature just built into it.
Yeah. All right, so although I said this is the end, I don't think this is going to be the end, because he's also put down money on the Aptera. So you go call me. You promise you're going to call me once you get it.
If Aptera delivers the car and you and I are both still alive, we'll be doing this again, all right?
Well, I hope I'm still alive. It's supposed to be like next year, right?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
They've been uncommitted in their delivery time frame.
Right.
But they're supposed to be making their Delta variant, which is their production model.
Right.
And I know it's got to go through testing and certification, and eventually they'll start delivering.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people are looking at your car behind you. You know, I mean, you can't go too far, and everybody's like peeking and looking at the trunk, and it just shows you just how well this car is and how popular it is. You can tell them to open the door if you want.
You can open.
You can open the door. All right.
I'll turn on the screen for you.
No, okay, so, they had questions, and as an EV owner, you handle it. Look, you're the king of the, everybody is with the Rivians, with the Ford F-150 Lightnings, now your car here, and there's a ton of other Teslas. Everybody's seen Teslas, but this is how I should kind of see this in real time, how people respond to your vehicle. So you always be getting questions, and you are the perfect voice to answer all of their questions because you have the most knowledge.
It's a new kid on the block.
It is.
They haven't been delivering many of these.
Right.
And by example, there were 3 Rivians here.
Yeah.
More than I'd ever seen in any one place.
Right.
There's only one Mercedes here.
And it's like, oh my God, it's a Mercedes. Let's go. Yeah. So, all right, John. So again, thank you so very, very much, man. It's been a pleasure. I know we're going to be staying in contact.
Mr. Artist, it's been my pleasure.
All right, man. Thank you.
Thank you.